Welcome in everyone to Cash That Ticket podcast here on the Straight Outta Vegas AM feed. Monday, May the 11th, 2026. Here to get into some more NBA action on the Monday night card. And we'll see if we have something for baseball here tonight as well. Just wanted to make sure I got something out to you guys. I got some stuff going on personally, but nonetheless, glad to be back here for the podcast. Light schedule in the MLB as well. As I mentioned, we'll get into both the NBA games here tonight. Get you guys a coupon code for pregame.com. Of course, best bets as well. And we'll rock it as usual. But joining me, as always, gracious enough with his time. Very, very flexible when I have some stuff popping up all the time. It's Uncle Diamond Dave Essler. Uncle Dave, how's it going, sir?
Love Mondays. Love Mondays when I've won on Sunday. So, yeah, I had what did I have for my biggest bet last night? I had Minnesota team total over, and of course, after the first half, it looked relatively easy, and then until it wasn't, but it got there. So, yeah, I mean, rock and roll, brother.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that if Wimby was, I think from at least for myself, was throwing any elbows like he did last night, it would just go over my head, so I'd be protected from that, from catching an elbow from Wimby. But Nas Reed, yeah, takes one right in the throat there. I think that was a topic of conversation last night. But you mentioned Minnesota gets the job done. They even the series 2 games apiece. It should be a fun series between those two teams. Of course, Wimby, I think definitely warranted. Uncle Dave, get your opinion here on that for sure. As he got a flagrant two and was ejected last night in game 4 there for the San Antonio Spurs. But the Wolves win outright as an underdog. Uncle Dave cashes his uh, uh, client bet yesterday, the biggest wager of the weekend. And it was a fun weekend of hoops overall, Uncle Dave. But any reaction from the elbow from Wimby last night before we get to the Monday action?
I mean, you could kind of argue either way, right? I
Yeah,
mean, you got to be better, or you don't. I mean, for me, I probably would have done the same thing, but you know how the heat of the moment. I guess. I mean, it's easy to say not do that, but we don't know what transpired
sure.
to lead up to that. He probably should be, if you just looked at it on its own, should probably ejected for another game, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know what led up to it. I mean, not that that matters. I'm trying to defend him a little bit, but I'm always looking to play devil's advocate, and I guess I look at that like, well, you don't know what Naz Reid had been doing or saying that wasn't on camera.
Yeah.
Um, he could have been calling his mother all kinds of things, or making fun of his whatever. So I don't know. It could have been just built up frustration. Who knows? I mean, it's not good for the game. Clearly, it's a bad look for him. Clearly, I guess when all is said and done, any of those things that you see, it's like hockey. It's like the retaliator that gets the penalty, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think probably they both did or said things they shouldn't have done, and we move on.
Well, exactly what Mitch Johnson said in the press conference last night or post game conference that he exactly what you said, right? It's hoping that Nas Reed was okay, and that the intention of what Wimby did, but something maybe it was physical play. What you mentioned is that maybe something Nas Reed was saying or just built up frustration for lack of cause. Because there was, again, when we do get to playoff basketball, the refs typically 80% of them swallow their whistles, right? They let the physicality happen. It's not like the regular season where you're getting these ticky tack fouls. And maybe, like you said, maybe he or somebody Minnesota was saying some stuff, and we don't know what led to that reaction from Wimby. But we'll move on from it. We'll turn the page. We'll be right back at it on Tuesday night tomorrow, and on the pod tomorrow, of course, we'll break that game down as well. One series that did end, Uncle Dave, before we get to the Monday action, the New York Knicks just manhandling the Philadelphia 76ers over the last 2 games. And offensively, the Knicks just looked really, really, really good over these last 2 games. And um, I was completely wrong about this series. I thought the Sixers had an opportunity, but boy, the Knicks just steamrolled the Philadelphia 76ers there. Not even close, a 4-0 sweep. And I think this is a great benefit for the New York Knicks as well, right? Because number one, with the injury, I think more so to OG Anunoby with the right hamstring strain, this gives him maybe a week, if not more, Uncle Dave, for him to get that right and get ready for the Eastern Conference Finals. Because at least my guts tell me, and we get to the Cavs games here momentarily, that this series for the Cavs and the Pistons can go on maybe for at least 6, if not 7 games. And that's just an advantage right now for the New York Knicks, for guys that have been playing these, extended minutes, and more so for OG Anunoby's hamstring that he's dealing with the strain there. So, I don't want to say the path is there for the Knicks to get to the NBA Finals, but the path is definitely there, if that makes sense here. But I think the most interesting comment that I took away from the post game conference was from Joel Embiid, where he said he considered this season a success. I didn't watch the entirety of the interview there, but I just saw snippets
Yeah.
of it on Twitter. But any reaction from the Knicks just absolutely sweeping and take care of business against the Sixers?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my first reaction was, how bad do the Celtics suck? I mean,
Uh,
I kind of went into it the same way you did. Like, this could be a 6, maybe 7 game series, and here we are. I guess that. I mean, that was my reaction.
yeah,
Is who is really Boston, and or is New York really that good? I don't know. I mean, their Knicks are going to probably be overvalued against Detroit or Cleveland,
right.
off of doing that, and they'll be rested, and Cleveland and Detroit will play at least 6 games, and yada yada yada. So I guess uh, yeah. I mean, that's my. I don't know. I don't know the answers. How bad is Boston, especially without Tatum, and how good really are the Knicks? I mean, where did that come from? Or if Embiid's going to call it a great season, on what basis? Is it because he played his fair share of games and got out with it relatively healthy, or no, I don't know. I'm just trying to read into it, like what's actionable going forward, really. And
Yeah,
again, I think the Knicks will probably be overvalued in game one against either one of those teams. Not that they won't cover, but they're probably going to be 2.5 points more favored than they probably should be. So we'll see what happens. Or that series taught either Cleveland or Detroit what not to do,
right.
how
Yeah.
not to play. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think you're 100% correct as far as actionable items that Knicks game one, or even for the series, will be overvalued. But we'll cross that bridge when we do get there. Find out who they exactly will play, whether it's the Pistons or whether it is the Cavs. And speaking of those two teams, Uncle Dave, let's get into it here for tonight on the Monday card. We'll start right there with the Detroit Pistons in Cleveland for game 4 of this series. Right now on DraftKings, I do see the Cavs are a 3.5 point favorite in this game. Looking towards -4, and I know Uncle Dave does a fantastic job of reading the market. I'm sure he'll give that update here momentarily. Total of 213.5. As far as injury reports, nothing for Cleveland, and then for Detroit, just 2 questionable attacks for Karis LeVert and Kevin Herter for the Pistons side of things here, Uncle Dave. But here we are, game 4 between the Cavs and the Pistons, as the Cavs are looking to tie up the series 2 games apiece here tonight. But what are your thoughts on this matchup here for this game?
Yeah, I mean, the market is uh, kind of saying Cleveland a little bit, but I look at this game almost like I look at the last game, and it wasn't far off. I would either have to take Cleveland money line or the Pistons with the points. Now the market is kind of on Cleveland a little bit. I mean, you got 62%, depending on where you look, of the tickets that are on Detroit, and it opened 3.5 ish, and it's still there. But I did notice at Circa they early this morning did come back down to 3. So what that kind of tells me is that that's barring late unexpected player availability, that's going to be your line pretty much all day, 3.5, and it's not going to go to 4. So I think if you like the Pistons, you probably take them sooner rather than later. I think if you like Cleveland, you wait a little bit. Who do I like? I don't know. I mean, the last game, it kind of went bizarre. I mean, Cleveland built up a huge halftime lead, right? And then the Pistons came back and made a game of it. And I think based on that, I don't expect the same thing to happen this time. I expect Detroit to come out and play well in the first half. I mean, 48-64, 112 points in the first half. And what's a little awkward here is the first half game total is 213 and a half. Game totals first half total is 108. Typically, the first half total is slightly less than half, 48, 49%. This is almost 51%.
Mhm.
So I think people are expecting maybe the same game, a big first half. I'm kind of not. Again, I think that we look at the whole zigzag thing. So I think if I'm betting this game, I'm probably taking the first half under 108. I think that may be a little bit inflated. As far as the side goes, I mean, anybody's guess. Obviously, uh, both teams. I mean, it's a playoffs. Teams want to win, right?
Yeah.
But Detroit wants to wrap it up at home in the next game, and Cleveland wants to have a next game back in Cleveland. So I think it's a close game. I honestly think if I liked Detroit, I would do it now at 3.5. If I like Cleveland, I would do it later. But I think my best bet in this game would probably be the first half under because Cleveland was able to hold Detroit to 48 first half points, 18 in the second quarter. And I don't think Cleveland's going to score 64 in the first half again. So first half under for me, probably.
I mean, for me, it's and I'm the SpongeBob SquarePants between the both of us, of course. You're the sharper mind, but I mean, is it as simple as like the Cavs have to treat this as a game seven essentially because we know what their road record not only during the regular season was, but also in the playoffs where they haven't won a single road game yet, right? They lost all three games in Toronto. They lost both of the first games, one in game two in Detroit, and they've played very well in Cleveland, right? I mean, is it as simple as that for me? Of course, if it was that easy, anybody could do this as far as betting goes. But I mean, look, they've won each of their home games thus far this season, or sorry, in the postseason by at least 5 points. So if they lose this game tonight, I think it's over on Wednesday night in Detroit because, again, like we say, Cleveland just has not done a very good job at all. Not only in the postseason, as I mentioned, but in their regular season. Their game just hasn't traveled on the road thus far. So I'm inclined to take if you're able to find that three out there for Cleveland. I think they get the job done again here tonight. Whether it's by four or more points, of course, because I like the -3, but there's just something about Donovan Mitchell at home. James Harden had a clutch 3-pointer in that game on Saturday for them to get the first win of this series. And role players, as I mentioned, just play better at home here tonight. So I think in the back of their minds right now for the Cleveland Cavaliers is that because of their road woes, like they have to treat this as a must-win game here tonight. And even this series, and as Uncle Dave mentioned, having an opportunity to get back home in game 6 and potentially push it to a game 7. So I'm going to go with Cleveland here, minus the 3.5 right now that I see on as we're recording right now. But if the number starts dropping here, I may wait closer to game time and see if I can able to get that 3 out there between these two teams. As far as the total, I don't have much. Uncle Dave, if anything, I would look at a Cavs team total over again. We're not asking them to get a whole heck of a lot of points. I think it's probably 107, 108 and a half as far as their team total goes here tonight. 108 and a half. And as I mentioned, they've scored at least 108 points in all of their home games thus far in the postseason there. So that's where I'm at as far as this game here, Uncle Dave. Anything else you got for Pistons and Cavs?
No, I mean, I guess if I was looking at a player prop, I mean, we tend to go there, right? I mean, just cross off Donovan Mitchell and Cade Cunningham. I mean, who's going to help them? And
Yeah.
if you like Cleveland, you probably have to like James Harden. I mean, he had some clutch shots, but he didn't have a particularly awesome game. 19, 2, and 7. I mean, that's what 28. I would probably look at Harden props over. He's been there, done that, and he made the three. And and I say that only because I don't like to take the star props over. Not that Harden's not a star, but I mean it's
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell's team against and Cade Cunningham, and who's going to step up. And if you like Cleveland, which I kind of agree with you, I think I would have to look at James Harden.
Yeah, I think maybe one player to look at, Dennis Schröder on his points prop. It's at 6.5 at minus 113. He did have, let's see, 22 minutes, 11 points. The only thing that gives me hesitation on him is that he's not really getting the shot attempts up as far as volume goes, or the minutes, in fact, either. So I mean, I'm just reaching for straws right now as far as not picking a guy like Donovan Mitchell or, James Harden, for the Cleveland side of things. Maybe it's a Jared Allen on his rebounds for this game here, but I'll leave it at that as far as player props for this game. All right, second game of the night here, Uncle Dave. We've got the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are in LA to take on the Lakers as they look to close out this series in a sweep. Right now, the Thunder are a 10.5 point road favorite are the Thunder. Total of 214.5, Uncle Dave. And injury report, Jalen Williams will continue to be out for the Thunder, and Luka Doncic has already been ruled out as well. This one's going to be pretty simple for me, Uncle Dave. I'll let you take it here, but anything for Thunder Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, I have to take Oklahoma City. I mean, I don't want to, but I think that the last game was a microcosm of these two teams, right? I mean, the Lakers were ahead at halftime by a couple, and they're feeling pretty happy. And what happens after that? Well, the depth of Oklahoma City. I mean, we've talked about the lack of, if you will, for the Lakers. Where do the points come from? Who's going to score off the bench? I mean, what did they have off the bench last time? Points wise, I think they had, well, Luke Kennard put up a few, but aside from that, nobody. And, it's LeBron, it's Austin Reeves, and whoever else happens to have a half decent night. I mean, if you look at the stats, I mean, the Lakers probably couldn't have played much better, really, at least offensively. I mean, they shot 47% from threes. They made 8 more free throws than Oklahoma City took, right? Uh, they had more offensive rebounds than Oklahoma City and lost by 23. Well, why is that? Points off turnovers, 30 for Oklahoma City. Fast break points, 19 to 9. Points in the paint, 64 44. And you wouldn't expect that. 64 points in the paint without taking, more than, what did they take, 10 free throws, right?
Yep.
So I don't know what the Lakers can do. And then you look at it, okay, it's LeBron. He's tired. I mean, he's played, we talk about it often, how many minutes he's 33, 38, 40. Does he, he'll say all the right things, right? But does he really want to play anymore this year? I mean, they're not winning. They're not winning a game in Oklahoma City. They're not winning the series. I mean, I'm not going to say they go out and say screw it, but I mean, realistically, in the back of his mind, talking to a reporter, yeah, we've done it before. I've done it before. Yeah, yeah. Well, come on now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's got to be Oklahoma City, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost got to be Lakers team total under, because Oklahoma City is going to do it again with defense. I mean, if Oklahoma City can improve, they're not going to let the Lakers shoot 47% from three, and they did all that only to score 108 points. I mean, I don't want to be SpongeBob either, but OKC and Lakers team total under.
Yeah, OKC for me as well, and OKC team total over. Whether it's I'm just gonna say full game. I'm not gonna say whether. Um, yeah, it's everything you mentioned, right? There's just not enough on the Lakers side of things, and defensively, ever since Austin Reeves has returned, it hasn't been great for the LA Lakers, for a lack of better words there. So they've been able to get whatever they want offensively. They're making 3 point shots out of the Thunder, and not like the Lakers aren't either, but it's what you mentioned, right? Points inside the paint. It's something that the Lakers have struggled with for over the past couple seasons, right? I know they try to add Aiton as a rim protector, hasn't really worked out. Jackson Hayes as well. And when you have this type of team that was able to outscore you by 20 points inside the paint, I don't think there's any adjustments at this point of of this series that the Lakers can make to really slow down the Thunder. I think the only thing that you're hoping for, if you're a Lakers backer or a fan, is that the Thunder just have a really terrible shooting night and the Lakers were able to take advantage of that. But even then, we know that the Thunder just play absolutely fantastic defense. And even if they have a bad shooting night, they can still go out and win the game. And Uncle Dave, the funny part is at games 2 and games 3, I think for sure in Lakers in game 3 had that 1 point lead at the half. I think they did in game 2 as well, but they faltered in that third quarter and still enabled a Thunder team that was favored by 13 and a half, 14 and a half, 15 and a half points to cover the spread in the second half alone. So that just kind of tells you where this Thunder team is at and where this Lakers team is at right now. And again, I'm not going to waste any more breath on it. You mentioned Thunder minus 10 and a half, Lakers team total under if you want to play that, Thunder team total over. You guys know me. I like my team total overs. And I think Thunder have scored at least 108 in all 3 games thus far in this series, but they scored 125 and 131 in the last 2 games each. And I don't think that's going to change here tonight. So, and they've won each of the 3 games in this series by 18 or more points there. So, yeah, these teams are just in going in 2 different directions right now. As far as player props, I'm glad we mentioned it. Again, if you like unders, maybe look at some for the Lakers side because it does turn into a blowout. They're probably going to throw in the white flag. Maybe same thing for the Thunder side of things as well. There, I didn't have anything for player props unless you did, Uncle Dave.
No, I really don't. I mean, I'll take Bronny James to score more than 2 points. Um,
Yeah, I want to
because
see if they
he
have a pop out.
because he might get more than 4 minutes. That's I have no idea. But I'd probably do that just for fun, not because I like either one of them. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you'll
I mean,
probably get something closer to game time for Bronny. I just don't see it listed right now.
I get you, and I don't have anything that I wouldn't be just throwing a dart at.
All right, so there it is for the NBA here tonight. 2 games on the schedule. Hopefully, it is a fun night of hoops in the playoffs for the association. As far as MLB does go, Uncle Dave, we have a very lighter card here on the Monday schedule. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in action tonight. I do have 3 of those. Sorry, 4 of the 6 games that are divisional games, but I honestly did not get time to dive into the card here tonight. I mean, if I'm looking at it on surface, George Kirby, Peter Lambert, he's been pitching very well for the Astros. If you look at under there in that matchup, and then Drew Rasmussen and Kevin Gossman under 7.5 would also be a look for me as far as the Rays and the Blue Jays go. Did you have anything for baseball today?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to rain on your parade, but the market is kind of suggesting maybe a few more runs in that Houston game than we think. I don't love the over, but I could get behind the Astros team total over 3.5, only because they know Kirby, right?
Yeah.
And a couple other games that I would probably play just because 200 dogs. Mike Soroka for Arizona has been pitching like really well. The market kind of agrees there, but you can still get him at plus money. And Tampa Bay and Toronto. I mean, Toronto's kind of hit or miss, right? Gausman is kind of hit or miss too, but obviously Tampa Bay's seen a lot. And Rasmussen is great. I would perhaps take Rasmussen and Tampa Bay also as a plus 110 ish underdog. If you get one of them, then you're going to make a little bit of money. As far as the other games, no clue. I did interesting line movement there in the Yankees and Orioles game. Total's kind of leaning under, a little odd there. I don't know if there's some early news I don't know about who might not be playing for the Yankees because it's Young and he's not very good. But there's definitely a shift in the market towards Baltimore. I would have to hold my nose and maybe take the Orioles on the run line if I'm just reading the market. I know the Yankees look entirely too easy, but I don't have to bet it, so I'm not going to. But those are what I'm thinking. I mean, Cantillo for Cleveland, is he worth minus 170? Probably not. So I would pass that game altogether. Same with the Dodgers game. I mean, Sasaki's looked obviously really good, but minus 180 to a division team. I don't know about all that. Probably under in that game if I'm betting it for sure.
All right, there it is for the MLB here. Again, we'll start diving more into the MLB, as these series start to wind down. We'll actually, break down in depth more and more games there. So hang with us, and we'll get more into the MLB card. All right, before we get over to best bets, just want to quickly remind everybody to get over there at pregame.com. Do us a favor, use that promo code BASIS10. You can get $10 off of anything, including rest of May all access. Get every pick and every sport from your favorite pregame pro through May 31st for less money than the normal 7-day all access price. So you get the rest of the month of May for less than what you would pay for 7 days. That sounds like a no-brainer to me. I don't know about you, Uncle Dave, but that sounds like a no-brainer to me. But if you use that promo code BASIS10, you can knock off $10 off of that price right now, which is listed at $99. Use BASIS10 and get it down to $89 with that coupon code. So if you want to support the pod here, we'll support Uncle Dave. If you want to get the rest of the month of May, a good sample size. So it's about 3 weeks left, a little bit less than that. But again, a good opportunity. Use Basis 10, support the podcast here. And then again, if you like what Uncle Dave does, this would be a great opportunity for you guys to get on his football package, or honestly, a season long, and getting every pick from him, every best bet that he puts out for his clients. Because you guys know here, he's been crushing it on the pod here and also for his clients there as well. And knock on wood, as I always do when it comes to these type of things there. So again, do us a favor, get over there, pregame.com, use your promo code BASIS10. All right, well, Dave, let's wrap it up here with best bets for this episode. I'll let you lead it off. Where are you taking us for the Monday card?
Yeah, I'll take the first five under 5.5 in the Giants and Dodgers game. I mean, we know Sasaki's good, but Trevor McDonald in his one start this year, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 8 strikeouts coming against the Padres, who are theoretically a good team. I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and say they're a great team, but they're a good team, and obviously the Dodgers haven't seen a ton of them. I don't know where he's coming from. I mean, last year he didn't spend a lot of time in the bigs. 15 innings, 14 hits, but you can't ignore that. And he's somebody the Dodgers haven't seen. I don't know. Mookie's probably still out. I'm not sure, but we know the Dodgers don't hit well when what's his name? Otani's not when Otani's pitching, but Mookie's still a big part of that. So I'll take the first five under 5.5 in Dodgers Giants.
All right. All right, for my best bet, Uncle Dave, I'm gonna keep this one simple. I'm gonna lay it here with the Thunder, -10.5, -11 right now. Again, get the best of the number. These are just two teams in different classes right now. Defending NBA champions, Lakers looking to go 1-2-3, Cancun. Again, it's just the talent discrepancy. No Luka. LeBron has done what he's can. I mean, he's played 35, 36, 37 minutes, I think, in every single game, except for one in the postseason thus far. And they're just struggling defensively, and there's just not enough offensively as well for the LA Lakers here, where the Thunder, the depth is just too much for this Lakers team to handle right now. And it's been on display in all 3 games thus far, especially in the second half. And the thing is that the Lakers, as I mentioned, were up at the half in games 2 and games 3, right? And the Thunder laying the amount of points that they were in games 2 and games 3 were still able to cover the full game spread in the second half. So that just kind of tells you that they're making those adjustments at the second half, or the Thunder. And I think that's something I want to back here as well. Yes, they're going to be going back home, but I don't think they want to play any more extra games. This gives another opportunity for Jalen Williams, their second best player, to get extra time to get prepared for the Western Conference Finals. And because it seems like that, at least that we know for sure that the Wolves and Spurs are going at least 6 games there. So, give me the Thunder here to take care of business and complete the sweep here of the Lakers. I'm going to lay it here with the Thunder as my best bet for the Monday card. All right, that's going to do it here for this edition of Cash That Ticket Podcast on the Straight Outta Vegas AM feed. We'll be back tomorrow, talk more NBA. I think tomorrow will be a little bit more baseball heavy because there's only one game on the schedule for the NBA. But Uncle Dave, anything else for our listeners before we get our Mondays rolling?
No, I can talk for another 15 minutes, but I know you have things you need to tend to, so I will let you go ahead and do that.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Again, thanks for your flexibility there. Getting this out. I want to get something out to our listeners there. All right, we'll be back tomorrow for the pod, so look out for us then. Enjoy the games tonight. Good luck with your tickets, and we'll talk to you guys down the road.